Hello, Athenian. Welcome back to the 2012-2013 school year. Let's get started. Alright, so for all you new members of our Athenian community, we have something very unique to Athenian, which you don't find anywhere else, and that is called town meeting. And this is where, really, as our class say, democracy is in action. It's your voice to help improve the community through student-submitted proposals. And that's what I'm going to do. This town meeting is not official, it's a mock. I'm going to go through the motions, the process of the system, so that you can be knowledgeable and you can take advantage to it at your will. 3 parts we have. We tell you about proposals, we talk about proposals, and then we vote. So let's really put it into action so you guys can see what happens. Alright, so let's have our 4 introduction speakers come up. Oh, sure. No, I'm sorry, I haven't really introduced the town meeting officers, the people who really make it happen. Alright, so I'll start.
Hi, I'm Haley Zovikian, and I'm your secretary. Yeah. Woo!
I'm Andrew Smith, I'll be VP this year.
I'm Andrea Tam, and I'm the president.
Hello, I'm Joe, and I'll be your moderator. I'm just here to help you out. We have a point of information, our second one this year.
Point of information. What is? I hear your job titles, but what do you do?
Let's go back around.
All right. So the president really doesn't take that big a role in town meeting, as it's mainly run, as you can see, by Joe, the moderator. But I mainly go to the meetings, and hopefully you saw the email that I sent out yesterday regarding just a summary of the DCPD meeting we had yesterday. But I'm basically the student voice in any of the meetings with faculty, which some are welcome to as well, but I represent student voice in those meetings.
As VP, I basically help out doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work. I'm also working on a new system for proposal submission, so I'm sure I'll probably be coming and talking to a number of you guys about what you think about that issue this year.
And as secretary, I'll be taking notes and minutes on all the meetings, so you probably won't see me because I'll be sitting down typing. And then I'm the person you submit your proposals to if you have one, and then I'll edit them or look them over and then send them back out to you guys so you can be prepared before the next meeting.
I have a simple job. I feel like I know the order of things that happen. I can put town meeting into a structured system, but I help you express your voice. We're going to read you our mock proposal. I'm going to repeat that this is not the official proposal. This is just for us to discuss, for you to see what happens, and then in the next town meetings, then it becomes your role when you have to come up with proposals.
The proposal was submitted by us, your town meeting officers, but in the future, you guys will be the ones submitting them. Okay. Whereas leadership is a quality that Athenian tries to instill in all of its students, whereas the pillars currently do not express this aspect of an Athenian education, whereas Brownsburg currently includes leadership as a 6th core principle, resolved, we propose that we add leadership as a 6th pillar at Athenian.
Here is our first pro.
Good morning. So I'm here to speak in favor of the proposition. Harry Truman once said that people make history, not the other way around. In periods where there is no leadership, society stands still. Progress can only occur when courageous, skillful leaders seize the opportunity to change things for the better. Here at Athenian, we foster the idea of leadership in everything we do. We elect presidents and moderators of our meetings. We encourage students to introduce and spearhead proposals that they believe will be beneficial to the community as a whole. Every year we send students to conferences like the WPC, the POCIS conference, as well as the Ground Square conferences around the world. We encourage student leadership of community service groups both on and off campus. On AWE, every member of every group takes a turn leading the group for a day. At Athenian, we promote the idea of leadership in everything that we do. I believe that the addition of a sixth pillar, leadership, will be a great leap forward for our school as we formally recognize leadership as one of the cornerstones of our Athenian education. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Kai and I'm going to be speaking against this proposal. So Ben made a lot of good points, some of which I was actually going to bring up. But we have these 5 pillars: outdoor adventure, community service, all these opportunities built into these pillars. And although leadership is very important in the Athenian education, these pillars already cover it. Like how can you go on AWE without having leadership? How can you lead the community service group? That requires leadership. So although it's not an official pillar, I don't think that's necessary. Athenian's unique because our pillars aren't something that they're not ground square pillars, they're actually our school's pillars. Our school was founded on these pillars. It's not something that I think we can go back and change and say, oh, we're going to add to the founding principles of Athenian, like almost 50 years later. I think this is something that makes Athenian special, the fact that we're not going to follow, these aren't ground square pillars. These are the Athenian pillars, and I don't think that we should be affected by kind of ground square in adding one. Leadership is important. Leadership is something that I think all of us have opportunities to do here, but I don't think that it's necessary to add it as a pillar of our school.
So that's the introduction. You know the proposal, you know the basic pro, the basic against, you're starting to formulate your own opinion. Now is when we move to really the most important part of the town meeting, when you get to hear your friends' voices, your teachers' voices. This is what town meeting is all about. Now, I'd open up.
I think that it would be great to have leadership as another pillar because it would foster an environment that would promote great leaders, and that would make better town meetings, better assemblies, everything, and also it would make people want to sneak into town meeting. You would have people leaving campus during town meetings. People would be actually sneaking in and wanting to come to the meetings, which would really make everything better, and people would be really interested. So that's my opinion.
Well, I think leadership is absolutely an important part of Athenian. I don't think it's a core value like community service or multiculturalism. I think it's a skill that we build through all the different things we do. So for example, right now I am building my leadership skills by working on speaking to all of you. And I did the same on AWE and in all these different things we do that involve the pillars. So I don't think it's a basic value. I think it's a skill that we develop as we're working with all these different aspects of our core education.
So I think that leadership should be a pillar at Athenian because it is a skill that is strongly encouraged by many teachers and classes on campus. Leadership is also one of the round square pillars, as stated before, and these are the pillars that Athenian has adopted as its own. So I think that leadership is extremely important for every student to learn how to use as a skill because it encourages students to take action and get involved in what they're passionate about. So I think it's only fitting that the 6th pillar of leadership is incorporated into Athenian's pillars in order to create more well-rounded students who are committed to being the best people and students they can be.
Hi, I'm Haley. So not only is leadership reflected in all of these pillars, and is it one of the founding parts of Athenian, also, if you look at this wall, there's not another spot for a 6th pillar.
Well, I think we've really touched on how leadership is an overarching thing, and so I would like to propose if we get this proposal where the leadership is the 6th pillar, maybe it's an overarching pillar because it draws from each of them, because we are leaders of the world and we are leaders in our communities, in our classes, in AWE, so it's an overarching theme that can be a 6th pillar.
I agree that leadership is an important value that Athenian has, but I think that we already learned how to harness that skill in is reflected in all the pillars also, but especially in the classes, we already have developed that skill, and I think it's sort of the unspoken pillar that we don't need to re-debate.
So one opinion about we don't have any more pillars to hang on another pillar, I agree with that. And also for that, I see like those like little scribbles, I really don't know what those are, but I guess you have some space under it, so you can kind of imply that leadership is kind of under those pillars. So you can kind of amend this proposal to like maybe like include leadership, like subscribe to all of those pillars maybe, then kind of good too.
Now I heard a motion to close the speakers list. I need a second. Alright. So this is our first motion that we're voting on. All in favor of closing the speakers list? Aye. Hold your hands up there. Come on, I'm not good. All opposed to closing the speakers list?
Yay. Yay. Point of it.
All abstaining from closing the speakers list? So by an obvious, simple majority, the speakers list is closed. We'll have our last speaker, and then we'll move on to voting.
So, as Haley said, we do not have room for another pillar. So I am suggesting we make it the roof of all the pillars. We put it on top of all the pillars, and we make it the leadership roof.
Alright. Speakers list is closed. Open debate is over. I need a motion to vote.
Motion to vote.
I need a second. Second. All in favor of going to a vote? Aye. All opposed of going to a vote? Oh no. All abstaining? Simple majority, we're going to a vote. Now this vote, right now, is the most important vote. This is what we've been talking about, the debate, when your voices are heard. We're going to have the proposal read one more time in its unbiased form, and then we'll move on to an official proposal to vote of our mock proposal. Alright, you guys heard the proposal, you've heard the debate, you've heard the people who submitted the proposal. Let's vote. All in favor of this proposal to add the leadership pillar? All opposed of adding this leadership pillar? And last of all, who abstain? Hopefully, keeping your hand raised for that time is the hardest part of town meeting. Now, with 21 in favor of this proposal, 178 people against this proposal, and with 55 people abstaining, this proposal does not pass. The change is in your hands. That is what town meeting is about. Making your voice heard. The voice that sometimes is the quietest doesn't mean it's the least important. So I challenge you, because it is your responsibility to let your group's voice be heard and Athenian's voice be heard. Bring that to town meeting, make that proposal so it can be heard.